first matchup. Let's see how he's going to fare in the TvP. He spawns in as the red Terran player to the top left-hand side of Frozen Temple. It is Ryung. And his opponent down to the bottom right-hand side is going to be from Invictus Gaming. Now, blue Chinese Protoss player. He is Jin. I had one of the Chinese players play yesterday, Maxed. Unfortunately, did not manage to make it through the groups. And did fall to both Harstam and sort of. Did take down Sleep 2-0. But again, wasn't having too much luck against his other opponents there and wasn't able to make it out of the group. So let's see if Jim's going to make a difference. Obviously not an easy group to get out of at all, but you never know. I mean, if you can beat Nado and then pull off an upset against maybe Ryung or Byun, I mean, Ryung is probably the more likely one to be upset here, but you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Anyways, we're going to be kicking this off and just waiting to see what the builds are going to be. Already Jim is opening somewhat aggressively, somewhat different to what you might oftentimes see in the Terran versus Protoss matchup nowadays. The one base Protoss player is something you don't actually see all too often anymore. So double gas opening, that's going to be a bit of a later expand out of Jim, although that being said, he is very slowly adding into this gas. So what it's likely to be is actually still a pretty quick expansion, but able to go into his extra gas much faster. And that will allow him to go into, and it will enable him to go into a faster kind of, a faster Stargate or something. However, look at this. Ryong is going to throw down a factory to the right-hand side of the map. With his SCV coming over here, he's going to proxy it, and there goes the proxy pylon as well. Uh-oh. Here we go, guys. We're going to go into this. He actually just put all his workers into gas now, so he is going to go full-on Stargate proxy properly before he goes into the Nexus. I thought he was going to go Nexus and then proxy Stargate after he pulled out of gas a little bit, but nope. He's going to go for this. Factory on the way from Ryung, so this is really awkward because Ryung is not necessarily going to have a lot of units at home to defend. What's he going to scout? He is going to scout fairly common proxy locations, but not this one all the way to the right-hand side, unless he adds a rally point in there on that marine. There's the factory about to finish. There'll still be a starport coming up too. It'll be just proxy Widowmine drops. It's interesting. I do find this intriguing because it's almost as though when you proxy it up here, is it really that much closer to your opponent's base? I'm not sure if it is. Not sure if it is. Anyways, there comes the Stargate, so Jim going to be setting that up, and we're going to get into a very weird game here in the early stages. Both players have their buildings pretty much within the same screen as each other. It's just obviously neither of them have the vision in those directions to actually see where their opponents are. So, going to be seeing a probe just going to be coming over towards the main base. We'll actually see here in a moment or two there's no natural expansion, and you'll obviously realize then that this is maybe going to be problematic. We're actually going to see the mothership core coming across too. And that actually might also become a problem for Ryung because he doesn't really have much to kind of fight. He's got a few marines and that's about it. So Stalker will start to prod away at a few of these depots. But at the same time, now he doesn't have any defense at home against the Widow Mines. And also, he's got no detection up currently. Obviously, his Oracle will come out, and that will be some form of detection. But it's not going to be on the right side of the map here. Not straight away, at least. Now, one pile in the front getting overcharged. Reactor will go down very quickly. Will slow a lot of production here from Ryung. As going to be seeing Steeple going down as well. We're going to see now the later expand of his opponent as his Widow Mine just waltzes on in towards the main base here. And uh-oh, here we go. Going to start a burrow. And a few probes get put onto it, and just going to be actually no target fire. So Widowmine doesn't get a kill as it goes into the assimilator. Big mistake out of Ryung there. That's a really kind of a heavily wasted Widowmine. We're actually going to opt for a Cyclone to come out, and he's also going to build a Liberator now as well. So he's still got Widowmine in the natural, which can't be really cleaned up. He's got an SCV picking up kills as well. It's 2-kill SCV in a moment. Oh my god, SCV going huge. Anyways, Oracle comes in. This is why the Cyclone is probably quite important. Medivac has come out as well to help him out here. It's actually come back to defend. Marines go down, but SCVs are going to be helping to fight, and one Marine surviving for now. Again, this is why the Cyclone is so important. He's actually going to lock on. He's going to shut down another Oracle from coming out. Widowmine has gone off again, only a couple of kills. This SCV, man! This SCV is having the time of his life. He could have got another kill if he just focus fired. It's not every day you see an SCV do so much damage into a mineral line. As we're going to be seeing this, Rax is going to be loading up, and Stalker's going to keep on fighting it. A couple of Rax going to think of coming down to the right hand side. SCVs will move forwards, and we'll see these SCVs coming in and surrounding these couple of Stalkers. So, a couple of Stalkers getting surrounded. Overcharge going to come down. SCVs continue to try and push this away, as here we go. We're just going to be seeing that Stalker going down. Lots of SCVs have fallen here in the main base, though. Ryung is down to only 15 workers remaining, trying to repair his barracks. Out on the map, we have a Cyclone across the map. I mean, Ryung isn't mining. This would have wound up in 3 kills. He's lost his pylon here as well. The Liberator is around. What a crazy game. Neither player really has anything to fight against the other. What's actually on the units tab, though? 2 Cyclones, a Liberator, and a Medivac against a Mothership Core and an Oracle. I do believe then that this is probably going to be Ryung's victory, because eventually Ryung will clean up and come home and clean up these units, whereas, well, I mean, Jim is literally relying on a potent overcharge. Yeah, the Cyclone's just going to be a little bit too good here. Unfortunately, overcharge comes down and these SCVs run away over this direction. I mean, a few more SCVs going down. 4 SCVs to 11 probes remaining. It doesn't matter if these probes can't mine. It doesn't matter if they can't go anywhere useful. Liberator going to stay sieged here to make sure nothing happens. Widowmine's in the natural expansion too, slowly picking away. Pylon goes down on the Stargate once again, just before we see another Oracle coming out. And I guess we're just going to be seeing maybe even the Stargate going down now as we see a few SCVs evacuated over to this side. A couple of racks going to try to get away. That orbital command just going to sit overhead. It's actually going to get this Pylon up, and Oracle is going to come out once again. And as the Oracle pops out once more, well, I think the Cyclones, they're going to be underneath. Let's see if they'll use their lock-ons already. Okay, locks onto the Oracle, perfect. Shuts that down then, and, well, at this point, yeah, Jim has to GG out. He knows he can't fight against this many Cyclones. Ryung, with a very good result. Maybe a gas-first aggression once again out of Ryung. Definitely a possibility. Here's the red tower to the bottom left-hand side of the map. It is Ryung. And to the upper right-hand side, our blue Protoss player. Let's hear it if you're cheering on Jim. What am I watching? Says Mizzletits. What? Oh, Missile Tits. Wow, what a way to misread that name. What am I watching? He says in the chat. Yeah, I mean, what were we watching? That was ridiculous. One of those games where you look at it and you just try to make sense, and then you just like, no, it's probably best if we don't try to make sense of this and just accept the fact that it's been an absolutely ridiculous game. An absolutely redonkulous game. Alright guys, so as we kick off into game number 2, what are we going to be seeing? Let's watch for the double gas, of course, from our Protoss player, see if he wants to play that aggressive opening once again, or if he will just be opting for that faster expansion this time around. Let's see, Simulator going to finish up, and a few probes are going to start hopping on in there. Across the map from Ryong, we are going to be having, well, just a barracks building up. His gas did come down as a gas first, so there is potential for him to just stick on one base here. Might just be a gas first Reaper expand for that fast factory follow up into something like a Widow Mine drop perhaps, or something along those lines. There's a lot of different possibilities as to what exactly this could be, so we shall see here soon. Next is coming down now in the top right hand side from Jim. So next is coming down over here. And yeah, just going to be seeing the Cyber Core coming down as well. Good stuff, alright. So Cyber Core coming on in here. See that assemblator starting to build just to the top side of this Nexus. And there's that probe just going to come over and add on another pylon. Command Center, Reaper on the way. And factory is going to be starting up as well from Ryong here. So factory starts up out of Ryong. And we just continue to set on up into this. Single SCV for Ryong will be chasing this probe actually. So probe going to be chased away up to this top right hand side. So SCV just chasing that down, looking to see what it might be able to get up to. Pylon actually going to be coming down. I mean, it's very standard opening here in the early stages. Nothing too crazy going on, guys. So, very standard stuff. We see the Reaper coming across. There's that fast factory, as we mentioned before. That's going to be coming down. And again, probably a Widow Mine drop is the most common way to go about this, but maybe Ryung has something slightly different planned. We'll see in a moment or two what he builds out the factory as he starts up the starport as well. Starport first. Actually, doesn't have the gas for Widow Mine just yet, but we'll still be able to afford it pretty swiftly. Widow Mines are pretty. I mean, I know they take up gas, but they're pretty cheap. 25 gas for a Widow Mine. It's pretty crazy. I mean, I know it can be super good and do a lot of damage, but I still find that pretty interesting, just pretty crazy actually. Anyways, Reaper going to be hopping around. We're going to be seeing a grenade coming down here. We're going to be seeing this probe getting picked off. So one probe going down already, and the Reaper is just going to be starting to back away off towards the center of the map once more. So Reaper just going to back off. Robo Facility and Twilight Council coming down now for Jim. So going into this Robo Twilight setup, and we're all going to be seeing a few Marines just sat down on the low ground out of Ryong. So a few Marines just going to sit down on the low ground. And what's going on? Again, another couple of Marines going to be popping out. A couple of gateways coming in as well. There's a couple of gates coming up. There's that Blink being researched. So that's going to be starting to be corona boosted right now. So Blink is on the way out, guys. And yeah, I mean, Blink on the way up and just very standard stuff. That's all I can really say. 2 Widow Mines going to be dropped. Also very standard. We see that all the time. A Liberator to follow up. I guess Ryung will probably just go fairly soon in towards his third CC, which he'll probably build in location here on Galactic Process. It's a very safe map for taking third base in location. Lots of rocks to protect the location. Not many ways to really attack it other than drop-based play, which pros players don't have a lot of access to in the super early stages of the game. It's not often you see a Warp Prism coming out. I guess we might see if Blink Stalker Pressure comes out of Jim, then maybe the Natural might be under some threat. Anyways, Reaper's actually going to pick off a couple of probes now the Widowmine drop comes in. Just going to have to avoid, though, the Mothership Core's overcharge initially, and now we're going to see actually the Widowmine will go off here on the Mothership Core, so that goes pretty low right from the get-go. The second Widowmine will unload in the mineral line of the main base. Nice responses by Jim, though, although I really thought that was about to be a Stalker and a bunch of probes killed off. Widowmine going to get away alive, though, so good stuff. As we'll see Ryong doing a little bit of damage, but for the most part, Jim defends pretty nicely. This Liberator going to come into location now as well. There's actually a pretty sweet spot behind this mineral line where he could probably, if he comes across here and then sieges up right here, that's probably a bit of a better way to do things. So that's probably a bit of a better way to do things right now. Widowmine on the third base now going to be blocking, and that probe is going to want to get out of there soon. Poor probe, man. Surely he just couldn't figure out what was blocking. He's like, is there a rock underneath it? Is there like a stick? Or, why can't I build here? And he realizes it's actually just a very dangerous Widowmine, which is actually going to blow him up. Poor probe. Short-lived life. So much potential. Anyways, we're going to be seeing more probes being built. I mean, a few more have been picked away at. The Liberator went down in the main base. So again, just bits and pieces of damage being done by Ryong. It's very standard in TvP nowadays to just sort of want to slowly pick away at your opponent in the early stages while you set up onto those 3 bases. And so on and so on. Forge is currently starting to build out of our Protoss player. So Forge is starting to build on up here, and we'll probably see a +1 upgrade coming in. Third Nexus is coming down as well. And I'm going to see some Stalkers coming across the map, so Gem is going to commit to a little bit of Stalker-based pressure here, but shouldn't really be able to do too much, actually. I mean, 2 tanks already in location. So 2 tanks already in location, and tanks are pretty much the kind of the pinnacle of defense when it comes to defending against these Blink Stalkers in the early stages of the game. They just shut down the Stalkers from being able to get into good locations, from being able to really harass as they would like to, as we'll see those Stalkers going to be get ready to jump up to the high ground. All they're going to do, though, I mean, it's a very, it's a commitment that he has to decide whether he wants to, whether it's worth committing into. So, is he going to blink up here or not? Third CC from Ryung actually came in the main base, so maybe afraid of something like this at this sort of timing, just to make, doesn't want to kind of miss out on it. And is this going to be a super aggressive attack? Oh my god, these Stalkers could get the tanks if they stay in the medevacs, though. He's just going to back away. He's going to play safe. I kind of feel it's the right decision from Jim. I don't think there's a way he blinks up here and takes a good trade. Going to see those Stalkers just joined up together. The Warp Prism is sat overhead as well. I'm going to be seeing these 3 Marines and 3 medevacs still just overhead also. Scan actually picks off an Observer. We're going to be seeing another tank or 2 being lifted up. A couple more Stalkers going to be warping in right now. There's a couple more Stalkers warping in right now. There's one more just off to the right hand side here. So one more Stalker just warping into the side. A couple of gateways are on the way up. I mean, very standard 3 base play out of Jim, just going into +1, Resonating Glaives, a Stalker Adept, Immortal-based army. But the thing is, on this map, he's not going to find a way to trade with this army and slow down, shut down the Liberator count in the early stages. He isn't. So he's not going to be able to do that. And if he's not going to be able to do that, then he's it's going to be a little bit awkward. Anyways, a couple of decks going towards the main base mineral line. You're going to see some Marines stimming forwards after that Warp Prism, looking to try and maybe shut it down here. Warp Prism is just going to sit to the bottom left, so as we see. There's just a couple of tanks being fired away at. So yeah, I just don't know where Jim's headed really, because I feel as though this is a very good mid-game composition, but with the way that Ryong is playing, just sitting defensively on 3 bases that can't really be broken, then while you're preparing for a late game setup which isn't really going to apply to the playing a mid game, which isn't going to happen. He needs a way to be able to fight against the Liberators, and I know the Stalkers can to some extent, but as the Liberator count rises, which it's doing, past 4 or so Liberators, it gets very difficult to fight this with only Stalkers. And that's when you need another answer. That's when you maybe even need the... I mean, I don't want to say Stargate and the Fleet Beacon, but you need to make sure you've either got a lot of Stalkers, or you're going to take very good engagements on the map. I mean, let's see what happens. Ryung starts to push across now. A few Marines and a Marauder will lead the charge, stimming ahead of the rest of the army. Looking to see, of course, what they can get up to, and just have a bit of a spy to see what exactly is going on. You give me these Stalkers, they're going to turn around and think about coming up this ramp. They're going to blink away pretty quickly once again, though. Another tank loads here. Ryong is going to be continuing to move forwards. He's going to be unloading just towards these rocks, so he'll work his way through this and start to get access in towards the third base. A couple of tanks are going to unload, and we're just going to be seeing these rocks starting to fall. And as those rocks fall, we're going to be seeing Adepts, Stalkers, Sentries, and Immortals setting up and getting ready to go. Minions and Marauders coming up here, and they're going to be looking to maybe step in. And whoa, Liberals are going to get a field day as these Adepts commit in. Every single Adept bar one is going to go down. Okay, this fourth base is in a lot of trouble. This fourth base is going to go down. You just can't fight this. The Liberators are in a good position. I mean, you only have Stalker. I mean, what are you meant to do? I don't know. I think it's one of those situations where you see the Terran is able to just very quickly go up into kind of the strong, you know, the later stages of the mid-game, the strongest mid-game army, even kind of pushing towards late-game army, and you just have to respond faster. Drop a Robo-Bay down. Maybe, you know, I don't think Tempest are the right answer just yet, but drop a Robo-Bay down I think is probably the best thing. Get some Disruptors out. Create a way to engage into this, because I don't think Adept, Stalker, and Immortal's ever going to be that way. As you see this attack on in, I think these Stalkers are just going to be trying to do what they can, but it's just not going to be enough. You can just see it's a massacre, and Jim is going to tap out of game number 2. It is Ryung to take yet another 2-0 here today for himself, and he will now be 2-0 and 4-0 in this group. Hasn't dropped a map